Hello everybody, this is James Diboe, discovered and dedicated to original people as always, and we out in Namibia, and I got a special guest on today, Godwin. Garrison, how you doing, my brother?
I'm good, thanks. How are you doing?
I'm blessed, man, blessed, man.
Aye.
Good to be here with my African peoples. You know, this is the first Namibian I'm interviewing. We were over in South Africa recently interviewing other peoples, so we're here to discuss a little bit about Namibia and also his life growing up, his own life story. You know, very interesting, some of the lives that we've listen to different peoples out in Africa, you know, so we're in Namibia now. So Godwin, tell us a little bit about yourself anyway, you know. I mean, what was your earliest, you know, your earliest memories of when you were growing up as a child, you know, plus as well, you know, we're going to a little bit about the colonialism from the German, the Dutch and the British and, you know, all that one. So tell me a little bit about yourself, brother. Tell the camera.
Alright, so currently I'm 28 years old. I was raised by a single mother. You know, it was a bit challenging being raised by a single mother, not knowing the love of a father or somebody that will tell you, don't do this, you know. But then at the end of the day, a mother is a father and a mother on the same time. So for me, it was quite challenging, especially here in Namibia. We get friends that's a bit bad influence, and then you get the ones that are good influence. It all depends on which side you are falling on. But however, I should say I'm very lucky that I had a mother that prays for me every day, as well as friends that I meet in the road. They were not that so bad that I have to stay out of the way, but in between there were ups and downs, and life, you know, our parents come out of colonization. They were colonized by Germans, South Africans. So all the wish for us was just to have a better life. They don't want us to step on the wrong side of the road. But however, we keep on pushing towards the life that we were wishing for ourselves and the life that our parents put out for us. So it was quite a challenging to be on this age and then working the right way. Some of us are graduated, but still at the end of the day we end up on the street because there is no work. Probably there is work, but then we step on the wrong side of the road. We might get convicted, or we might get the wrong friends that we don't want on the road, and then it's quite a challenging for us. But then I should say I'm very lucky, you know. I'm very lucky.
Well, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, you're trying to go into the right direction. You don't want to go in the negative route, of course. You know, like some other people around the streets, what they do and that. But I can see it's very challenging out in here, and also I've been hearing about the wages what some people are on, especially in the hotel where we was, and someone was saying they're only on, I think it's £100 a month. And he said he works 6 days a week, 12 hours a day, which is about 72 hours a week, so that's like £25 a week. So I was like thinking, like, well, how do you survive? I mean, what's the cost of like the rent where you're staying? How after you pay your rent, your bills, how do you even survive? I mean, with the wages that they give you, do you understand?
Yeah, no, I do understand.
Yeah.
You know, it's very challenging. You know. You know, some of us are parents, you know, you have kids to look after. Probably some of our parents are retired, and then especially in this situation where there was this corona, most of our parents, especially the older ones, they were retrenched, you know. There's no work for them, and they probably just got the package, the one they had to be paid out, of the all mutual money, or the money that they were paid out by the company. And then obviously this is the second year when after the corona has hit us.
Okay, now the colonization, what do you know the dates of or are you aware of any round about the time? Who were the first people to come to Namibia? Was it the Germans, or was it the Dutch, British?
The first person to come to Namibia to colonize us was the Germans.
The Germans, okay,
the Germans,
okay,
yeah.
Right, okay. So typical Germans, Nazis, you know. So you know, at the end of the day, this is why I believe Pan-Africanism is so important wherever we go in the world, because some people, black people around the world, they don't know what's going on in Africa. You know, sometimes they believe that they don't understand the colonization and how strong it is. even when the country goes independent, we go and celebrate Jamaica Independence Day, Namibia Independence Day. But really, is it really independent? Because that word independent gets thrown around all the time, and then people just go and celebrate one day, party, drink and this and that, and then that's it, and then go back to being in a colonized position still. So with yourself and that, I mean, the Germans come first, and then so the Germans were warring with the Zulus, weren't they? Well, they were trying to kill the Zulus. And then what about the Khoisan? You also have the Khoisan.
You know, well. I'm actually a Nama. You know, in Namibia we have different tribes. Yeah. We have the Oshuambos, we have the Namas, we have the Damaras, we have the Oshuhereros, and then we have the Bastards. You know, the Bastards actually, it's a mixture that we normally say came from the Germans. Yeah. And it came from the Namas.
Okay. Now, who are the Namas? Now, because we can deal with millions of different tribes, but let's try and bring it in a bit more. The Bantu people, yeah, because Zulus come under Bantu, right? And then you have many more tribes come under Bantu. But then you got your Khoisan, and out of your Khoisan, they have different tribes as well, the Khoisan. So what is your tribe? How would you describe? Do you have any Khoisan blood, or are you Bantu? Or you have both?
No. I actually have the Khoisan blood.
You have Khoisan blood from your mother's side or your father's side? Okay.
You know, actually, I'm actually a Nama Damara.
Nama Damara.
Yeah, Nama Damara falls under Khoisan because we both, the Nama Damara use the click sounds, you know.
Oh, the click language.
The click language, yes.
Wow.
So the Khoisans use the click language as well.
Yeah.
But then the most difficulty is we don't understand each other, you know. We don't understand each other.
So the click is different?
The click is different, yes.
Right.
But then a Nama and a Damara, we will definitely understand each other. The only people that we don't understand with is the Khoisan people. And then the Bantus, actually, you know, like I was saying, we have different tribes. The Oshuambos, the Oshuhereros, the Caprivians, those actually fall under the Bantu, you know. So Bantu was actually from the top of Africa.
Well, where my ancestors from, Nigeria, that's where they say the Bantus came from. Eastern Nigeria, and spread out. Plus the language, Niger-Congo, it spread through West Africa, right across to East Africa, and South Africa also parts of there. So anyway, carry on what you're saying, sorry.
Yeah, like I was saying, the Bantu, like I was saying, Namibia has different tribes. So the Khoisans, which is the Namas and the Damaras, the language we use is the click sounds. So you see a bit of South Africans, not bit, but South Africans also use the click sounds. But then the funny part is the South Africans, the majority fall under Bantu as well. And then you will find some that fall under Khoisan, you know. So I found it a bit different or strange that we don't understand each other as well with the South Africans as well.
Right.
But then you know, there is the border between Namibia and South Africa. You will find a bit of Namas.
Namas.
Yes, the Khoisans, the ones that original fall under Khoisans, but then they speak Nama. The ones we will understand each other, they are originated just by the border between Namibia and South Africa, the south of Namibia.
Okay, so you know when the different cliques, so you can't really understand each other. Now, going back in history when we go back, was it more you understood each other? Is it down the line since like people have came in, divided people up, that the cliques change with different groups? Or at one time did you all understand the clique language?
Actually, I should say it has changed, you know.
It's changed. Now what's made it change though? Because this is what we've got to deal with. One time people could all connect with this clique language, Khoisan people. So how did then basically where was the separation? Was it the slang changed? Or was it like they adopted different things from other cultures? How did you can't communicate no more?
I should say the slang changed.
The slang, okay, that's one thing.
You know, when they migrated, they were originated in Botswana.
Botswana, next to Namibia.
That's just next to Namibia.
Okay.
And then from there they migrated down to South Africa, where they also used the click sound. That's why you will see a bit of South Africans and the Botswanians, the Tswanas actually. They all understand each other. And then with us, the Namibians, especially us, that if I have to put it as one word between the Namas and Damaras, we actually has to use the word kwekwe. So actually, the kwekwe it's the click sounds that we use in Namibia. But then me and the Tswanas and the Zulus, we don't understand each other. But then the actual change came when it was originated in Botswana, and it was actually divided. The ones going to Tswana are to Zulu, not Zulu actually, but Xhosa, because they say Xhosa and the Tswanas and the Namas are the same originated people.
Okay, so yes. I'm aware of the Khoisan are in places like South Africa, Namibia, part of Angola, part of Botswana, Zambia. You have them any through there, or Zimbabwe?
Actually, Zimbabwe and Zambia, they is actually just the Bantu originated people.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Because you know, like I was saying, we have different tribes.
Yeah.
Like the Oshiwambos and the Caprivians, they will understand each other with the Zimbabweans or the Zambians because of the language. Especially the Caprivians will understand with the Zambians.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So even with Bantu now, would you say there's a lot of different Bantu dialects? It seems like there's different dialects in Bantu, but originally it came out of the Niger Congo languages. And also, can we hear you speak a bit of Klich? That's interesting, because I've never heard actually people in person speak Klich. Just give us like a little sentence in Klich and then tell us what it is in English, if that's okay.
That I'll do.
I'm going to listen hard now, because this is Klich language. Listen hard now, okay?
Mindre, Kainse de Koi, Chesa Kaise Kainse. Tadu ginin ai awoke saraka khabe nechesa kaise dage ne ko phago sari Namibia bna khare ke khinsa se ha fan
okay
nam khan hukine ba so Namibia bna ta khiyo nami ke ne ba so actually what that means is I was saying we have a lovely guest here in Namibia. Namibia is a place where there is love, where there is peace, and then everybody you meet in Namibia is very friendly.
Definitely, I've met a lot of friendly people, yeah.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So you see when I'm listening to your Klich now, so I can hear words, then I hear at the end. So, the words and the Klich, was that put together in recent times, or was it always like Klich?
It was always the same.
It was always the same, right? Okay. Yeah, interesting. So what does the Klich mean at the end? Because is the so you have different Klichs for different meanings.
Like you know, the other tribes say our language is very difficult to learn or to understand.
Yeah.
So basically, for us, the kwekwe cover, our click at the end of a sentence, there's always where you have to put your tongue together with the upper side of your mouth. So that's where the comes in.
Wow, it's difficult that, but if you, at the end of the day, you're born with it, like, you know, you're raised. Yeah.
I'm actually raised with it. So actually, most of our people would tease us saying that we're chewing gum, but but actually, it is kind of it if I happen to listen to it. I'm actually a person that was raised in between, you know, the Oshiwambos and the Namas, cause.
So would you describe yourself as part Khoisan and part Bantu?
I would say I'm
more Khoisan.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Right.
It's just Bantu is something I met in the road.
Yeah.
Because the school I was schooling at was full of most of the Bantu people.
Yeah.
So all my friends were Oshiwambo guys. So basically, they will speak in between them, and that's how I learn what they mean, what they are saying.
Yeah.
But then at home, when I get home, I speak my language, which is actually Kwekwe Kovaab. Yeah, so
can you speak a couple of languages then? Or you just speak the one language, like, what? Because you were just speaking your language before.
Yeah, no, I actually speak only my language.
Only your language, yeah.
But then Oshiwambo, I know the basic words. And then if it happens that somebody speaks with someone else, I'll clearly understand what they're saying, but I won't be able to respond in the same language. But I'll probably responding in English or Afrikaans, you know.
So when did you learn English? When was did your parents teach you English, or was it when you went to school?
Actually, English was learned. I actually learned English at home.
At home, yeah. Oh, your parents spoke it?
Yeah, English is like a common language here in Namibia.
Yeah.
So basically, before I went to pre-primary, my mother already started speaking English with me. We watched, back then we had television. We were so lucky, the old television. So
oh yeah.
So when you happen to watch television, you learn English out of it. So I learned basic from television, and then my mom and my sisters, actually my siblings, that were also teaching me English as well.
So do you see a lot of Namibians speak German out here as well, would you say? Because the German colonization, do many speak German?
Not most of them speak German. Like I was saying, we are colonized by Germans and South Africans.
Yeah.
So when the South Africans came in,
now when we say South Africans, we're talking about the Dutch.
The Dutch,
the white man,
the white man, yeah. So they brought in Africans, like I was saying. So basically, English and African in Namibia is like a common language that people has to know.
Okay.
Yeah. So every school that you go to, doesn't matter, it can be pre-primary, primary, high school, university. Okay, not university, but primary till high school.
Yeah.
The common language, the most recent language that you have to choose is actually English. Next to English, you have either Afrikaans, you have German, French. Those are the only, or Oshuambo or Kwekwe. Those are the only languages that you have to choose here.
Right. Okay.
So Afrikaans is more like an important language here as well in Namibia. Yeah.
So now, when as you're getting older, when you've left school now. How old are you? Is it 16 when you leave school here?
No, we start school here from the age of 7.
Age 7 you start, okay.
Age 7. So when I was done, I was 18 years old.
18?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, stay till 18?
Till 18, yeah.
Okay.
But then, when I was done with school, my grades were not so good. So I had to do some colleges in between just to upgrade my grades, and then to get into... just to get to university. But unfortunately, in a way, as I was studying, I got to a college. I studied social media and marketing, but then my desire was to go into social media and marketing. But however, life in especially here, it's more challenging, especially coming to work. So whatever came through or came in my path is the one I choose, which was hospitality. When I got the opportunity to go into hospitality, I chose it, and then that's where I am today.
Right, okay. Now, the minimum wage in Namibia, what is the minimum wage for the unskilled person?
To be honest, it's not really that good. Minimum wage, I would say, is probably 1,500 to 1,000. Let me say 1,200 to 1,500. Yes.
1,200 to 1,500
Namibian dollars. Yes.
So in pounds, obviously, it's not much,
it's
basically.
Not much. In pounds, I will say.
What is it? It's £1 to 20 Namibian dollars. Okay, so do the maths anyway. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. I mean, when I look over there, yeah, right. I'm quite surprised when I knew South Africa is still the way it is, and like it is. But when I came to Namibia, I knew the German influence. I knew that some things are going to be Germanized and stuff like that, and obviously the British, of course. But what I was quite surprised is the power. I like to look at the power of African people. Do you know what I mean? What the indigenous African people of this land, even though you could have corrupt leaders who will take money off the European and to keep everyone oppressed, but keep the little few with, earning big money or whatever. But unfortunately, for people like myself, I like to be a free thinker, independent thinker, and I look at the past, because the past basically has shaped the future that we're in. So I'm looking at like, well, how can African people unite globally? And I travel around the globe, and I'm about Also, I visited indigenous black people of Asia. I was telling you about them. Some people didn't even know that they were there. You know what I mean? But I'll make sure everyone knows that they're there. Do you know what I'm saying? So, everywhere we go, I've traveled a lot of places. This is my 42nd country right now. And I've just seen the European influence everywhere we go. Everywhere. You know, you can't escape it. Do you know what I'm saying? So, for me now, I just look and think, how can black people, African people unite globally? And it's only unity. We have to, maybe it's more bigger than countries. Maybe end all these things like borders. You know, because passports and all, you know, we've got to look like forward and like, rather than like, yeah, we can't look backwards, but we've got to learn from the past to make the better future. So, over in the now Namibia, I see a lot of the European wealth is still, they're benefiting. Diamonds, and I'm aware you found oil. There's been oil discovered. So this makes it very difficult where, like, there's different type of leaders we have. I mean, we talked about some before. Some of the leaders that spoke out, they got taken out. You know, and fortunately, the people that don't get taken out seem to be the people following the program. And there's a program to follow, otherwise the European American, and Americans are European, by the way. So they ain't no indigenous to America. So what we need is unity among black people around the world, basically, you know, and forget all tribalism, forget all the different, okay, we need to come with one common language. It doesn't have to be English, it doesn't have to be European languages, it should be an African language. So we look at, like, well, what are the languages we could share? Some say it should be Swahili. You know, some believe it could be, you know, other languages, even Yoruba, have it come up. But what do you think we could do to make Africans unite? What would be a peaceful solution to make this happen?
I believe the only thing that can make Africans unite is if we start listening to our people in our countries, you know.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like most of our leaders listen or seems to follow the European style,
yeah,
which is not what actually most of us, the Africans, want. You know, we want a traditional life, like all over Africa. We have our culture, you know. We don't necessarily have to change our culture just to please or just to show other people that
be proud. Can, yeah, be proud, man. Be proud.
We can, you know.
You definitely can. You know why you can? Because I'm over in England, yeah, and I still want to practice my African culture. I know it's more important than anything else, but continue. Yeah,
like I was saying, we're trying to be, I should say, we actually puppets, you know. The Africans, we actually puppets, you know. Seems like the Europeans are the ones that are controlling us, you know, all over in Africa.
Yeah,
we do have all the resources, to be honest. We have gold in Africa, we have diamonds in Africa, we have oil in Africa. We have all the natural resources, all the 7 resources in the world that every country needs.
Yeah.
We have it in Africa. You know, what I say that Kwame Nkrumah says.
Yeah.
There should only be one Africa.
One Africa.
And not a lot of Africas.
Yeah, that's right, though.
And then, if I happen to look at most of the African countries, it is very sad to see how we sell our resources to the other countries and to go buy it back. You know, they are the ones that were supposed to buy our resources from us. Today, we are divided also in Africa, you know. We have SADC Africa, we have Eastern Africa, we have Northern Africa. Why are we having this type of Africans?
Also, also with North Africa, you know, the Arabs colonized as well, you know what I mean? But the Arabs, they're the problem, of course, but the European run them. So we got to look at who's trying to be the top man, controlling everything. But continue what you were saying.
Yeah. So we have to follow the philosophy. If we happen to go back to our history and just read Kwame Nkrumah's speeches, we will know what was his aim. Today, we lost a good leader. We thought, or most of us were influenced through social media about Muammar Gaddafi. We thought he is such a bad man ruling a bad country. But if we happen to see what's happening now in Egypt, I would really say they lost a good leader that was trying to change the whole country. They lost a good leader. So as Africans, we are selling our land to the wrong people. We're putting it to the wrong people.
Yeah. That's a real shame though, man. And another like story, just before we got like about 5 minutes left. I was speaking to someone also about in Namibia, there's nightclubs, that are owned by German Nazis. They have SWAT stickers on their arm, and I've heard people having problems, Africans, when they've gone to there.
Yeah, you know, I'm actually a person that hardly goes out. I do go out, but then I do go out to popular places, like he said there are Nazi restaurant.
Yeah.
There is, and then most of the people that attend obviously are the Germans or the ones that follows the Nazi ruling, the Hitler. But then, like I was saying, we are not a country that is supposed to be standing or that is supposed to be ruled by other people. We're supposed to be a country that is supposed to be independent, ruled by our people.
That's right. African for Africans.
Africa is for Africans.
Definitely.
And like he was saying, the Nazi bar, the Nazi club, if you're not part of Nazi, you are not allowed to enter. Which is something that we in Namibia does not happen.
Yeah,
but our leaders, because they were bribed, we don't know what happened. Because no other country allows Nazi now. No.
Yeah. I know it's. I mean, I've never even like heard of anything like this before. I was very surprised, and I was like wondering like where the power, where's the power coming from? But I mean, I was surprised when this one people would tell me, and also people would tell me some really like older people, because you're very young, you see. So a lot of the older Namibians were telling me that you were talking about when they were younger, when the police would kick in the doors and set the Alsatian or German Shepherds on them, the German Shepherds, do you know what I mean? So I thought that was sounded like same in South Africa when they used to set the dogs on people. And he said also, is that after 6 you couldn't be walking in town or something like that?
Yeah, back then...
Maybe your generation missed that, but your parents maybe tell you about that.
You know, especially my mother, you know, we will have discussions here and then. She will tell me a bit of what was happening back then. You know, it's a sad thing when my mom was like 13 years old and she was the eldest of all the siblings she has, because there are basically 4. She lost both her parents when she was 13 years old.
Wow,
13.
wow.
So, and then they were all separated, and then she was raised by my uncle. So when she was raised, she was brought into the city from the south, actually, where we were originated as the Namas.
Right. So you're from the south?
Yeah.
Of Namibia?
I'm from the south. The Namas are basically from the south.
Okay.
Yes. All the Namas are from the south. And then the bastards, the ones I was saying, the mixture of German and Namas, are also from the south as well.
Right.
So my mom lost both her parents while she was 13.
Wow.
And then when she came to Windhoek, which was actually the capital city of Namibia. And then she has experienced a lot of things. She will tell me that after 6, no black person was supposed to be seen in the street.
Wow.
And if you happen to come visit at the suburbs, the white areas, you need to have a pass. Without the pass, you were illegal immigration into their area.
Now I know in South Africa they have coloureds and they call them black. Okay, all this silliness, yeah. But I was speaking to a person, like some people who are considered coloured, and they say that at the bottom in South Africa. I don't know if that was always the way. You know, I don't know when that was created, because something the colours don't have any part of the economy or something like that.
The south part of South Africa.
Yeah, in South Africa, I was speaking to people like Cape Town coloureds, and they were saying that the colours are put at the bottom. I mean, I don't know. Maybe other people see things differently. I'm not too sure how it runs.
Yeah, actually, they see it different. You know, like I was saying, especially us, the Khoisans, the born originated from the Khoisans, the Namas, the southern part of South Africa.
Yeah.
and the southern part of Namibia are the ones that are connected. So basically, the Namas, you'll find a bit of originated Namas staying that side.
Yeah.
But then, actually, they were part of the South Africans speaking Afrikaans, you know.
Okay.
Colonized by the South Africans speaking Afrikaans.
Right. Okay.
So, what the South Africans actually wanted here in Namibia was us to be the 5th province of South Africa.
Okay.
And we should speak Afrikaans.
Okay. They wanted you to speak Afrikaans.
Afrikaans.
Right.
Afrikaans was supposed to be the first language here in Namibia instead of English. That was their aim. But then, with all these fights, with the political parties and the independence we got, so that is what led us free from South Africa.
Well, you know what? It's been a great discussion today. You know, I mean, you're the first person from Namibia I've interviewed. You know, and I've really enjoyed this conversation. Anyway, Godwin, I'm blessed up. Anyway, Africans, we got to unite. You know, what I'm saying, whether you're Bantu, Khoisan, Nilo Sahara, Cushitic, you know what I mean, just whatever you are, man, we all want peoples and we must connect because we have a common enemy, and in the future is going to determine a lot, and we might not have the weaponry to defend ourselves, but you know what, eventually nature's going to take care of all of this. One love, yeah. Peace out, man. Yeah, man.